Well, hello. I'm here with Kim Rivers, CEO of Trulieve. And for those of you who don't know about Trulieve, Trulieve is the company that we know has been behind a lot of the push for the marijuana amendment that's on the ballot. Kim, tell us a little bit about why you're making the rounds right now.
Yeah, so this is a final push, and Trulieve has been in existence for about 10 years. We started here in Florida. I'm a born and raised Floridian. I'm the daughter of a police officer and a school teacher, and have kids myself. And it's just such a privilege to be able to participate in democracy this way, and to get out there and really change the course of history here in the state of Florida. And really, I think for me, Amendment 3 is really about two main points, right? First, we have to stop arresting people for small amounts of marijuana. And we know, right, that 16,000 Floridians were arrested and prosecuted last year for small amounts of marijuana. And in fact, the Miami Herald just ran an article this week that even in the community that stopped prosecutions, over 4,200 arrests were made, and 60% of those arrests were of folks that were Black and brown. And so it's ridiculous. It impacts our communities disproportionately, and it needs to come to an end. And then the second point is just really about personal freedom. Marijuana is here. It's been here. It's not going anywhere, right? It's been here for a long time. And so what we're talking about is
parents.
That's right. That's right. I mean, back to, George Washington days, right? I mean, it was a crop, right? Back then with the founding fathers. So it's been here for a long time. And so it's time, right, that Florida have the opportunity to have safe, regulated product available to adults to be able to access in the privacy of their own home. It's a personal freedom. It's a freedom of choice issue. And this is a product that's safer than alcohol, right? And so there's a lot of kind of hubbubaloo about it, I say, but I mean, really, we're talking about something that's pretty straightforward. It's about getting adults over the age of 21 access to clean product that they can buy through a store, and we can stop the needless arrests and ruining people's lives over a plant.
And if there was not a reason to vote, it's as simple as that first one, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Simple as that. Because talk to me a little bit about the arrest piece, because I have folks in my circle that actually in the last year they were arrested for having small quantities of marijuana, and I really had thought with stuff being legalized in at least how far we've come, that was on a back burner.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, what we see in the state of Florida is just wide inconsistency, right? And so really what we've done is we've allowed local law enforcement to make the rules because there isn't a consistent policy across the state. So we have some communities that maybe are more lenient, other communities that are very, very strict, right? And so as you're driving across the state of Florida, as an example, you could be treated very differently from one community to the other. And so again, it's time to create a bright line and to just stop the arrest. And what this would allow is it would allow adults to have possession of 3 ounces of flour and 5 grams of concentrate without fear of arrest. And so we are talking about, of course, personal amounts here. And what does that do? One, it allows law enforcement to focus on more serious crimes. I mentioned that I'm a daughter of a police officer, right? And that was one of my dad's biggest complaints is that, oh my gosh, they have me out here. I'm focused on this stuff. It's all this paperwork. It's all right. I could be doing so much more good in the community if I was freed up to do those things. Second, we know that an arrest can really impact someone's trajectory, right? And put them in a different category of success and success opportunity. I was just talking to an individual down in Miami this week who, as a second career, wanted to be a teacher, which, I mean, gosh, we need good teachers, right? We need people that are passionate for our youth. Yeah. And unfortunately, he was denied on his application because he had a marijuana possession. There's a hardline rule in that school district, right? And he had a marijuana possession from when he was in his late 20s. And so it can follow you around. And again, unfortunately, again, in the state of Florida, we have these very hard to navigate expungement rules. It's very difficult to get your record cleaned up after you have an incident. It's expensive, and it disproportionately, again, is impacting certain communities. And then let's just talk about the elephant in the room, right? We all know that marijuana is used as a profiling tool, and it's used, right, as a weapon against certain communities. And you're pulled over, and that's, oh, I smell it, so now
Yeah.
let me dig and dig
Let
and
me
dig and
search the
dig.
car.
Yeah, and try and find something else that I can take you in for, right?
Mhm.
So again, this would bring an end to that. And I'm really I feel very, very passionately that it's time. And then I also believe that we have an opportunity, once this passes, to go back and look at expungement, and actually, because it won't make sense for us to do this moving forward and still have folks whose lives have previously been impacted. So this is step one. And we're committed. We run expungement clinics all over the country, and in Florida as
Nice.
well. And so
Okay.
yeah, we're really, really committed to making sure that this is this is step one. But that also we do the important work of making sure that folks who have previously been impacted, that they get the same treatment moving forward.
And I've heard a lot of good things about Trulieve. So I'm hearing that you guys are the folks that are, at the forefront, and I'm happy to hear that you are looking at it from a multi-pronged approach, not just, yes, we're gonna just be on the side of, yeah, we're gonna be selling, but you're actively working on that expungement. And so I'm happy to hear that, because it lines up with what I've heard about you guys, Kim. Now, I've had a question that I have actually been defending to folks, and I'm like, I don't smoke, I don't even use, and I am actually explaining to you guys that it starts with one simple step, right? And so this amendment might not do everything that you want,
Right.
but amendments can only do one thing at a time.
Right.
Could you just delve a little deeper there, because that's
Yeah.
that's something I get a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thanks for the question. So, I mean, a lot of folks are really, there's so much misinformation out there. First of all, I mean, if I thought, I mean, again, I'm like, guys, it's marijuana. Like, the sky's not falling. This isn't some sort of, like, again, new thing here, right? But home grow has come up. And I
Mhm.
am super excited that home grow has come up, because we are really big supporters of home grow. And right, the lies out there are that this amendment prohibits, it somehow bans your ability as an individual to grow your own weed. So it does not do that. It actually is silent as to home grow. And the reason it's silent as to home grow is because the Supreme Court has said that only one subject can be in an amendment at any given time. And actually, the last time, so let me just break it down. This is the
Mhm.
third time. This is the third attempt for this to be on the ballot. And
Wow.
finally, we have an opportunity to vote on it. Okay, so three other times people have tried and have gotten millions of signatures from Floridians to try and get this on the ballot. The last time, it had home grow and legalization. And the Supreme Court struck it down and said, no, it violates the single subject. So it's disingenuous for our opponents to say, you need to have home grow. Well, if we had home grow, we wouldn't be having this conversation, because we wouldn't be on the ballot. Okay. So step one, we've got to keep people out of jail. I mean, I appreciate that everybody wants to be able to do all these other things, but I think shame on us as society if we don't draw a bright line and keep people out of jail and keep lives from getting ruined, right? Step one. Step
Yes.
two is home grow. And so the positive thing here, we sell seeds and clones in other markets that allow home grow. I love home grow. Home grow is a
Mhm.
market expander. I could grow my own tomatoes, but I don't, right? I buy them from a
Mhm.
store. So people,
Yes.
let live and let live. It's totally
Yeah.
fine. But what we have though now is I actually have a commitment from Senator Jones from Miami down there, and Senator Grutter, so a Republican and a Democrat, who have said that they will be filing a home grow bill this next session. So I think that because we've all been talking about it and people are very passionate about it, that we are supportive. And I think that we absolutely, that can come as a second step, but none of it's going to happen. I'm just telling you right now, none of it's going to happen. You've heard it here first if we do not get Amendment 3 passed. So if you
Mhm.
want home grow, you need to vote yes on this amendment, because if you don't, it's not going to happen. That's our leverage to go in and hold these lawmakers accountable and tell them, okay, we have the framework, we have legalization, we're going to stop arresting people, right, for a plant. Now, step two is that they can grow that plant at home in the privacy of their homes.
And as we wrap this segment, I just wanna have you just give them a reminder, because this is, I plug this lesson a lot. I say, if you want something, you've got to work at it. Now, Kim, is there any place that you guys need volunteers or donations or anything like that? Because again, anything that has to pass needs a community pushing it. How can the community push you guys?
Oh my gosh. Yes. So it's the committee that is behind Amendment 3 is called smartandsafeflorida.com. There's a website, there's volunteer opportunities. We're going to be out in force all weekend. I know we're going to be really, really active at Souls for the Polls across the state, as an example. We have events happening all over the place every single day, activating on college campuses. We're in senior centers. We're literally everywhere, and we would
Everywhere, because everyone needs this.
That's right. And listen, the great thing about this, right? I mean, it's just so amazing to have an issue this cycle that everyone can agree on, right? We have everyone from Vice President Kamala Harris, who is a big supporter of and has been a big supporter of cannabis reform, to former President Trump, who has specifically endorsed Amendment 3, because as a Floridian, I mean, think of any other issue that you've got those two people, right, who are agreeing on something.
Yeah.
And so, I always say, listen, cannabis isn't a red issue. It's not a blue issue. It really is a human one. And it's about giving adults the freedom to take control of the choices that they make, and have a healthier alternative for themselves. And so, and again, getting those transactions off the street and into a safe and regulated environment, and stopping people from going to jail.
I love it. Thanks for being a guest with us, Kim. We look forward to having you join us again on the weekend.
Great.